Alright, so I thought it's time we did another movie here. We haven't done one for a few days to catch up with events. So here's my screen again. We've got the 9 charts set up, and as you can see we've set a red trigger already on the British pound. It's definitely coming to the end of the trend here. It's really peaking. So it'll come down to the red line, I think. If we look at the 1-day chart, let's just zoom in here a little bit. The 1-day chart, it's still, for all intents and purposes, a downward trend because the red is above the white. But it could also be the complete change in direction as well on this particular chart here. But at some point in time, it's going to have to come back down even before it continues back up. So I think quite happily on the 1-hour chart, that's going to have to come back down to red. So we've got a trigger on the 1-hour chart there. And the same here for the euro. We already have our red trigger set up on the euro as well. Okay, so those two are done. In fact, on both of them, the distance, if that's 500 points or more, that's good. 800 points or more is good. And 1,000 points or more is powerful. So that's a very strong trend. So the likelihood that's going to come back to this sort of level before it even continues back up is very high. That's a good trigger. Okay, let's have a look at the US Swiss. Now if we zoom out, we can see again, blue's crossed white up here. It's done yellow, it's done white, and although it's hit red here, it still needs to be good distance between white and red, and that's what we're going to check right now real quick with the crosshairs tool. And the distance there is 800 points, so that's a good trend. Again, we're going to zoom out here. So we're going to set the red trigger on this real quick. So we go to the navigator. There's our red trigger. I'm going to drag it over. 1 for the size of the lot. There we go. Red ratio 75%. Minimum spread we're going to put at 500. And the take profit at well, let's put in 225 there. Quite happily get that, I think. And we're going to go okay. Done. Okay, next one. Alright, now we have the US Canadian. And again, if we zoom out here real quick, we can see that blue's crossed white. There's the yellow, done the white. And the next one here is going to be the red trigger. Quick check to see what the distance is. And, ooh, that's really narrow. So, we're going to set the red trigger a little bit differently then on this one. Let's zoom in for starters so we can see what we're doing. This is all to do with the mechanics of trading and clicking about and so on and so forth. There's our red trigger right here. We're going to drag it onto the chart. We're going to put a smaller trade in. Half a lot on that one, I think. Stop loss, take profit. We're going to put a very narrow take profit, 125. And I think we're going to even put a narrower stop loss in. Minimum red has to be, well, it has to be 500. If it's not 500, it's not going to work. And the red ratio is going to be 100. So what it means is it has to go, all the way up, 100% of the way to the red line. That's what this one means. Okay, and the distance has to be at least 500 from here to here when it does that. So that one's set as a red trigger, although we're not too confident that's going to activate. Okay, next one. What's this chart doing? We've already got a red trigger set by the looks of it. Yep, we do. So let's just double check, see if things are looking good. Needs to be 500 points or more. 398, it's not even going to trigger. So we'll leave that on anyway. But we're not very enthusiastic about it. Okay, what's this one doing here? The Australian, which we had some great trades last month on the Australian here. So what's the 1-day doing? Well, the 1-day is definitely a downward trend. No question about that. And the 1-hour chart is, well, it's above, so we can't set a trigger on it. However, the 1-day chart here is looking pretty good. It's bounced up quite nice. It's, when it hits a low, it's going to come back to this little level at least 3 times before it gives up. So I think that's a good trade right now for a sell, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to dive it in the deep end and take a trade. So we right-click. I'm going to go to New Order. And we're going to take a sell trade. Let's just take the trade. Sell. Done. We're in. Now, we can do a couple of things now. As we're in the trade, we can literally just double-click right here on the white line. That brings up our modify order boxes here. So we're going to go Yes, yes. We've just got 200 right now on either side. So whatever level of stop loss, click the red box here, and it's going to take the present rate of trading plus or minus this amount, and same over here for the stop loss. Modify the order, and hey presto, there it is, already on the chart. I'm going to zoom in. Now, if you click right on these lines, you can actually move them. So I'm going to put that just above the last high, and I think we can actually take quite a bit out of this trade. So there we go. It's set and ready to go. And that's it. So we've taken the trade. We're going to minimize the chart, and let's just maximize into this thing a little bit. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. That's looking good. Looking good. New Zealand. Again, the 1 day, if we look at this as being, wow, it's really on the way up, isn't it? What's 1 day doing here? Whoa. Again, wow. Let's do a Fibonacci on this one. Take the Fibonacci tool. We're going to take the last high, which is this one, I guess. Yeah, there's the last high before blue crossed. Going to left click and drag that to the low. 38.2 and 50% of the magic numbers. And it's right at the 38.2 line. I would like to see that maybe come up to the white line here a little bit. It's dropped. It's done yellow. The white line really on the 1 day chart here is the next line that it should be hitting. And you just hit the backspace button on your keyboard and that'll get rid of that. So 1 hour, yeah, we're going to leave that one alone. Let's not do anything on that. So we're going to restore that one. And then the next one we have is, what's this? The New Zealand. Oh, that's the New Zealand. Sorry, we just looked at that one. All right, so pound yen. What is going on with the yen? Blue crossed, yellow, white, and, well, almost to the red line here. What's 1 day on yen doing? 1 day is below the white line, so we should only really look for a sell opportunity on the 1 hour, and I think we've really missed that. It's on the way down, so we've missed that one, missed the party. Euro yen. Same sort of thing by the looks of it. Blue's crossed white, it's dropped, it's done yellow, it's done white, and it's almost done red here. See what the spread is between red and white. That's a good spread. 800 or more is really good. 1,000 points or more is really good. Do that again. Again, the crosshairs tool, left click, drag, and you can see here, you'd have to squint a bit probably, but that's 1,300 points. That's a very strong trend, but we kind of missed it. What's 1 day doing? Yeah, that's, you see the 1 day chart on both of these now, it's coming to the end of the trend, so it's going to come down and sniff around here at the red line. So if we put a horizontal line here, let's say that it comes down and hits red right about here later on. What's that look like on 1 hour? Not even on the 1 hour chart, is it? It's way down there. So we're not gonna do anything with that one. We've kind of missed the party. Should have been taking the trade up here somewhere. We're going to be very serious about this. And the US yen, well, we just missed the party on this one too. Let's zoom out here. So blue cross white here, drop, yellow, white. The next trigger has to be red. What's 1 day doing? 1 day is already at the red line. So the likelihood now that that's going to perhaps bounce and go back up again is very high. So, well, a red trigger. Let's have a look at this. What's the distance? The crosshairs tool. Oops, let's get that selected. And we drag that down. Wow, 1,500 points. That's pretty serious. Boom, boom. Red trigger. No question. Red. We're going to put that as a 2-lot trade. I'm confident about that one. Take profit. We're going to put 225. Red ratio. We're going to put it 75% of the way. And it's going to be at least 500 points. So what's that saying? When it goes 75% of the way of the distance between white towards the red line, it'll take a sell trade. A stop loss is going to be 500 points above that, and a take profit is going to be 220 points. You'll typically find, as the triggers are set on the red, it will generally always basically come back to the green line. So you want to put your take profit just on the side of the green line that it's on, up or down. So that's it. We've set the triggers, and we can see very quickly, trigger, 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 nothing. So we can minimize that chart. We're not doing anything with it. We have a trade going on here. Trigger, we have nothing going on here, nothing going on here, and a trigger there. So we can go up to window again, tile vertically, and hey presto, we've got all of our charts on. And let's just take a couple of seconds now and just rearrange these. So we've got the maximum chart space, so we're not looking at all the stuff we don't need to be looking at. Just like that, quite nicely. Done, 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 and done. Done. And let's zoom in on a couple of these ones here, because we want to be able to see these quickly. There you go. Always make sure you got the chart shift left button done. That one's on top of that one. That one's on top of that one. This one we can zoom in a little bit. Chart shift left. Always need to have a space. Same one here. And the same one on here. So there we have it. We have some trades that we've got open and some trades that we've been taking here. This is one that triggered on a trigger just the little while ago. And if we have a look here, we've got quite a few trades that have been going through. That was a little bit nasty. We closed out on some of these ones. And there we go. So we're chugging along. We've got lots and lots and lots of trades going on here. So we'll have a review of all of that a little bit later. So let's open up the trade window a little bit so we can see if any of these trigger or whatever. Crude oil. We have a little crude oil trade going. Nothing wrong with crude oil. And taking some trades on these things here. As inventories the other day, the 1 daily chart is sort of at a high, so we've got to take profits and so on and so forth. Perhaps we can move our take profit up a little bit here and rearrange things. So once you've got the triggers set and the trades executed, it's just a matter now of monitoring what's happening. So we'll set the snapshots and keep track of this and come back tomorrow morning and see what's happened. So I hope that helps. See you in the next movie.